Hi everybody, welcome to another week of Technique Tuesday. I am Anastasia Radloff, aka Stampin' Blondie, and I'm very excited to show you two projects today with some fun and fancy folds. Now, I hope you all had an amazing weekend, and let me just make sure that I am live here on Facebook. If I am, make sure to comment, say hi, let me know where you are joining me from. If you're watching via live on my YouTube channel, make sure to comment, say hi, and let me know you were able to join in there too. All right, looks like I am live. There we go. All right, if you're watching via replay, make sure to comment replay, let me know that you were able to join me, and then as always, make sure to comment and let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see where everybody is watching each week. Hi Leanne, hi Mom. I hope you guys had a great weekend too. I'm excited to show you guys the two projects featuring the Sun Prince stamp set and coordinating suite actually. Now this is a product from our 22-23 annual catalog, and it features some very bright and fun colors that pack a punch, and they only contain 4 colors. We have Pacific Point, Night of Navy, Starry Sky, 5 colors, Starry Sky, Basic White, and Granite Gray. So those 5 colors create a variety of different shades and tones that are perfect for our projects here today. All right, now let's go ahead and swap the camera. I have a couple of things to go over before we jump into our two projects here today. So let's go ahead and do that. The first thing is number 1, today only, June 21st, is our Stampin' Up! Free Shipping Day. Now this is on orders of $75 or more prior to shipping and tax, but anything that you can shop from with our online catalog is available for free shipping today. Now there's some great deals on there. All of our retiring January through June mini catalog items. Some of those items are up to 50% off, and you can combine that with free shipping. We have paper pumpkin kits. Our kits collection for the month of June is buy one, get one 50% off. So if you've been looking at our kits collection, I did a couple Makers Mondays in the past few weeks about our kits collection. So you can go take a look at those videos to see all about our items that are on free shipping today. So hello from Italy. I'm so excited that you're joining me here today. It's probably afternoon, early morning there for you, so buongiorno. I lived in Italy for 4 years, so I'm excited to have somebody watching there from Italy, so welcome. So today, June 21st, only free shipping on the Stampin' Up! Website. I will post a link in the video description once I'm done here today. If you shop with that link and use my host code, you'll receive a free embellishment from the upcoming July through December mini catalog. So hasn't even been available yet for those excitement. So also speaking of the July through December mini catalog, I have copies in the house of the new mini catalog and celebration brochure. Unfortunately, I cannot show you the inside of the catalog just yet, but there are some beautiful products coming for our fall/holiday crafting. We have everything from Christmas, fall, Halloween, snowflakes, Christmas trees, and all the bling and embellishments to go along with it. Now, Celebration, if you aren't too familiar with what Celebration is, it is Stampin' Up's biggest promotion that we host 2 times a year. And this will start July 1st through August 31st. Any order that you place $50 or more from the July through December mini catalog or our annual catalog, you get a free item out of the Celebration brochure. And I can't, again, show you the inside of this, but there's some really fun products coming from Celebration, and some of them even coordinate with items in the mini catalog. If you are not a current demonstrator and you're not currently working with a demonstrator and would like a paper copy of the catalog and have not placed an order with me in the past 6 months, I will post a link in the description of this video once I'm done here tonight, and you can request your free July through December mini catalog. If you have placed an order with me or attended Club Craft and Create or a card class to go, then you are already on my list, so no need to request a catalog, but I would be happy to send anybody else one that would like one. All right, next up, my summer Stampin' Bingo. Unfortunately, or fortunately very exciting, our Tucson in-person event is now sold out. So this sold out Wednesday of last week, so it was only open for about 3 days before it sold out. But if you are wanting to attend still, I have an unlimited amount of spaces for virtual Stampin' Bingo. Stampin' Bingo will be held Sunday, July 10th for the virtual event. It is $50 and it includes priority shipping and all the same goodies that you get at in-person bingo. It is hosted via Zoom, so no matter where you live in the United States, you can play along with me. And we will be featuring the Sunny Splash stamp set. This is a perfect stamp set that is for summer. So let me find that and I can show you guys what it looks like. I didn't tag it in my catalog here. Page 41. So here is the Sunny Splash stamp set. And so it's perfect for summer Stampin' Bingo. We will be making 3 projects with this stamp set, and you can add it on to your registration if you want to be able to create the exact same projects as we will be making. So summer Stampin' Bingo deadline to register is coming up the 25th. So I think that's what, Friday? Saturday, I think. The 25th is the deadline to register. There will be a link in the description once I'm done here today. All right, the last thing that I want to share before we jump into our projects is that many of you have been following my journey on earning the Stampin' Up! Incentive trip. As you may already know, I earned my very first incentive trip last year through Stampin' Up!, where it was then canceled 3 weeks later due to COVID. But I am well on my way to earning my second / I'll call it my first Stampin' Up! Incentive trip so that I actually get to go. Now in the past I've been telling you guys that the Stampin' Up! Incentive trip has been going to the Baltic capitals on a cruise. Now due to the situation that's going on over in Russia, Stampin' Up! Has moved the incentive trip to Norway, and it's still a cruise. So I am currently at 34,500 points needed for 40,000 points for our incentive trip. So I am so excited to be well on my way to earning my second / first incentive trip and actually get to go. I'm excited to take my husband on this trip to Norway in a cruise, and when we lived in Italy, we never got to go to Norway. So I'm very excited. So how can you help me there? By signing up for classes, Stampin' Bingos, placing orders. These all help me receive a fun excursion trip to Norway, but then also I get to provide quality classes and fun excitement to you as well along the way. So just wanted to give you guys a quick little sneak peek of where I'm at. I like to give little tidbits along the way, so I'm excited to show you guys that, and I'll continue to update as well on my journey to Norway. I'm excited. Okay, yes, Chris, Norway would be awesome. I would love to go to Norway. I'm so excited. Okay, so today we are going to be creating 2 projects with a fun fold technique. Now last week I showed you some of the projects that I received, their swap cards, during the Stampin' Up! Incentive replacement trip that I went to in St. George, Utah. So these were the 2 cards that I showed you guys that I received. They're both swap cards, and I mentioned during my Facebook Live that it would be fun to do a Technique Tuesday showing you how to make these fun little Z-fold projects. Well, I got my ruler out and I worked some magic, and we're going to be creating 2 projects, the exact same designs, but with the Sun Prince suite. Now this Sun Prince suite is very fun and bright. Like I mentioned, it's only 5 colors. And in here we have some blues and grays and whites that really work together to not only create feminine projects, but these can also be used as masculine as well. So you get a stretch for your dollar. So we are gonna create these 2 projects here today. Now, as always, on my website, each week when I go live, either normally on Makers Monday, but today for Technique Tuesday, I post a project PDF tutorial with all the details that you need for the project. It has the item names, item numbers, prices, and at the bottom, the dimensions of the 2 cards that we're gonna create here today. So you can get this on my website, stampinblondie.com. It's the first post up there each week. And you can pair this project PDF tutorial with the video here today and create along with me. All right, so I'm gonna keep this out so I can see it because it has all the score lines on the paper that we're going to be creating with our scoreboard. But first, each week I do something called Prize Patrol. Now, if you're not too familiar with what Prize Patrol is, all you have to do is comment, share my video, and you'll be entered each week into Prize Patrol. Now, last week I didn't have a Prize Patrol because I got back from vacation and I just jumped on live really quick after returning from work for 2 weeks. But our Prize Patrol last week, I picked something, and it is the Solid Faceted Gems. Now, these are found in our annual catalog, and now when I first saw these, I wasn't too drawn to them. But my friend told me that I should get them because they are really pretty, and she was right. So I'm definitely glad I grabbed these. The winner for Prize Patrol from last week was Penny Lyman. I know she's watching. I saw her name scroll by here a little earlier, so congratulations to Penny. But that is our Prize Patrol from last week. Now, our Prize Patrol for this week is the Iridescent Pearls Basic Jewels. Now, I'll be using these on my projects here tonight, and they are a little different than our normal basic jewel pearls that we have. These have a fun iridescent shine to them. It's kind of hard to see over the camera, the shine, but it does have like a fun iridescent kind of shimmer shine to it. So this is our Prize Patrol for this week. All you have to do is like or comment that you shared the video, because sometimes your Facebook security settings don't always let me know that you shared, and then share the video, and that's it. Free Prize Patrol. You could be our winner next week. Okay, our first project we are going to work on is this fun fold right here. So here was the project that I received. Now they used the He's the Man or He's All That suite from our annual catalog. But today I'll be using the Sun Prince. So this is found on page, let me grab it here, I marked it, page 90 of our annual catalog. It is a whole spread of a suite. So what exactly is a suite? It is one item number that comes with 4 different items. It comes with our Nature's Prince stamp set, which is right here. Nature's Prince stamp set. This is a cling mount stamp set, which is traditional red rubber. And then I love it because if you know me, I like stamp sets that have images and sentiments together all in one. It also comes with the Nature's Prince dies and this really fun wreath that we're going to use on our project. It comes with a package of the Sun Prince 12 by 12 designer series paper. Now I didn't have time to make my little paper that I show with all the different colors of cardstock on here, but we have fun gray granite, the blues, and there's a beautiful, beautiful designer series paper. Now this suite is just a little bit different than some of our others. Most of our other suites come with an embellishment, so either some kind of jewels or gems, and that rounds out the suite. Now this one is different because it includes a 3D fern embossing folder, which we're going to use on our projects as well. So that is the entire suite. Now all of these products can be purchased individually. Unfortunately, right now the paper is out of stock. When I made this project, it was still in stock. I didn't expect it to sell out so quick, but the rest of the items are currently available, and then the paper is due back soon. It doesn't take very long because Stampin' Up! Prints their own paper. So it should be back in stock soon, but everything else is available right now. And don't forget, it's free shipping day. Okay, so our fun fold. Let me grab our supplies we're gonna need here. The first is a piece of Night of Navy cardstock. This is cut to, let me make sure I'm giving you the right measurements, 4 1/4 by 11. Now I've already pre-done some of these pieces just to save us a little bit of time. So I pre-die cut that basic white cardstock using that really pretty wreath, and it does emboss it at the same time. So there's little slits in the wreath. I pre-stamped and pre-die cut one of the pieces as well, just because some of these, it's gonna take a little longer, and I don't wanna be here on Facebook Live all night long because it is my anniversary with my husband. So I've already pre-stamped this image and die cut with Night of Navy ink. I've pre-die cut this label piece with Night of Navy cardstock, but the rest of it we are going to put together. Now, Andrea asked, what size does this fit into an envelope? So this fits right into a normal sized envelope. It is perfect. Now, if you are going to mail this, my suggestion would be to add 2 stamps. It is a little bulky, but you can put this right into a normal size envelope. So you don't need any other special size, and it just takes 1 size envelope. All right, let's move some of these pieces and get our fancy fold going. Now, on the bottom of that PDF instruction sheet, I do have the score lines of what you'll need, and I'll be using my Simply Scored board. Now, if you have a paper trimmer through Stampin' Up, it has a score tool on it, but I'm just gonna be using my scoreboard because it's easier for me to see here. Now, let me get this in focus so you guys can see as well. All right, so on our 11-inch side, so our long side, we are gonna score at 2 3/4, 4 1/4, 7 1/4, and 8 1/2. And that is the score lines for that. Now, if you missed any of those, don't worry. You can always get them from that PDF, so you don't have to write them down. All right, I just want to make sure that I'm folding the right direction, so I'm going to prop that up just to make sure. Now, these all are the same size. Now, you can't see, but all 3 panels are the same size. So it doesn't really matter if you start on the left side, start on the right side, if it gets rotated, it's okay because it's all the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our score line that was at 8 1/2, and we're going to start there. We're going to fold onto itself, and you'll want to have a bone folder handy. This will help you crisp up your lines and just keep everything nice and flat while you're working on it. Then we're going to fold back onto itself here, and then repeat. So we're going to fold onto itself and use our bone folder, and then back onto our bone folder. So we have this kind of double Z, some people may call it like a waterfall card, but here is the layout, and you can see the difference when it is popped up on its side. Now, I am just going to lay everything flat, so we are going to work on it. Even though we have our score lines on there, they'll still pop up, but we'll be able to see exactly where everything is going. All right, I've got my piece of gray granite cardstock. Now this is cut to 2 3/8 by 4 1/8. Now remember, all of those score lines or dimensions are on that PDF. And I'm gonna be using multi-purpose liquid glue for my project here today. I wanna make sure that all these pieces get right exactly where I need it. And with liquid glue, if I don't have them exactly where I want it, I have a few seconds to kind of shift and shimmy my paper exactly where I need it. Now this panel right here will not have anything on it. So we're just going to fold that over. And we have 2 pieces of gray granite cardstock, both cut to the same 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. So we're gonna work this one. Now, when you go to put this one on, you don't wanna add glue to the whole backing of it because you'll glue your card shut. So we're just gonna add glue a little bit right onto the card base. That'll ensure that we're not getting glue where we don't need it. And we're just gonna add that piece of gray granite. The outline where you see the blue is very, very thin. So you definitely wanna use that multi-purpose liquid glue because there's not much space if you don't have that give. All right, now the last one, same thing, but this time we're gonna kind of fold our paper back and then we're just gonna add glue on our Night of Navy panel. And this will glue that on here as well. So you don't want to glue your card shut. You don't need a lot of liquid glue, just enough to kind of cover that panel. And there is the beginning of our fancy fold. All right, again, lay it flat so we can just kind of work on it a little easier. Now, 2 pieces of that Sun Prince Designer Series paper. I used just one that has kind of not a bright and bold background because I want my little pieces to stand out. I just want my Designer Series paper to kind of be an accent in the background. So with these, because we are adhering them straight to that piece of gray granite cardstock, you can add glue to the entire thing because you're going to glue it right down to that gray granite. Thank you everybody for the well wishes. It is 14 years with my husband. I can't believe today is our 14-year anniversary. It is crazy to think. I mean, I'm not old enough to have a 14-year anniversary. All right, I mean, that would mean I got married when I was like 2, right? All right, so we have a piece of basic white cardstock. This one is cut to 2 1/4 by 4, and that's gonna go on this panel here. But before we glue that down, we are going to stamp. So I'm just gonna move my sample right here, and I'm gonna add a piece of grid paper because we're gonna do a little bit of stamp off method. I'm gonna use Night of Navy ink for this, and we're gonna use 2 stamps for this one. We're gonna use, there's this really fun like splatter image in the stamp set. One of the things that really drew me into it was this splatter image. And then also the sentiment says, you're on my mind, because this card says hello there on the front, you're on my mind. It's a really fun card just to be able to give somebody to let them know you're thinking of them. Okay, our splatter we're gonna do in the lower right and upper left. And then I just recently re-inked my Night of Navy, so it is very dark, but it'll lighten up a little bit once it dries. So You're on My Mind is our piece. I'm gonna set that off to the side and then bring in that die cut piece. We're gonna do tone on tone stamping. So Night of Navy ink on our Night of Navy cardstock. And we're gonna stamp hello there. It goes right in the middle of this little piece. Now I'm gonna bring it a little closer to me just to make sure that I'm right in the middle. Sorry if that was off camera, but I just wanna make sure it was right exactly where I wanted it. All right, let's get some of these out of the way and get that out too. All right, bring our card back in. Now we are gonna do some embossing. I forgot about that part. So I have a piece of gray granite and we're gonna emboss with the Fern embossing folder. Now, if you've never worked with Stampin' Up! Embossing folders, the best thing I love about them is that they have this black line right across the bottom. So I like to use that to line up my cardstock to make sure that it is even going right across and that my embossing is not gonna be crooked. Now, because this is a full-size embossing folder, we need to use our big Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Andrea said, if you didn't stamp tone on tone, what color would I recommend? A couple different colors. So if you have white ink, it would look really good on that piece of Night of Navy cardstock. Now our white ink is a craft ink, so you just have to make sure that it dries. Because it's craft ink, it's thicker ink, so it does take a little longer to dry. So you can just use a heat gun and it'll set that ink. If you don't have white craft ink, you can use black. It's pretty dark, so here you can kind of see how dark that is. So even black would work. I think everybody has black ink that's a crafter. All right, we are gonna run our, oops, I am using the wrong plates here. So let's see, we're gonna use this because we're embossing. Okay, we're gonna run our embossing folder through. And fold this up. Move it off to the side and then use our so gray or white. Okay, yeah, I would definitely use white if you have that ink. If you don't, like I said, black will work perfectly well too. All right, now we're gonna assemble. With using pieces of cardstock that have been embossed, I always like to use multi-purpose liquid glue. It gets into the little creases of that embossed piece of paper and it just really helps it stick to the cardstock or whatever you're gluing it to just a little bit better. Our Stampin' Seal tends to kind of skip over those indentations, so definitely want to use liquid glue. All right, isn't that beautiful? That very fun wreath. Like I said, I pre-die cut that already just because you have to punch out some pieces and I didn't want to have to show you guys that part. Now what I'm doing is I'm just taking my liquid glue and just doing super teeny tiny little taps on the fern. You can see I'm just barely touching the paper and you can see how quickly I am using this. Now we do have a fine tip glue pen, but it was just easier for me to have one kind of adhesive out here for you guys today. So if you prefer a fine tip glue pen, you could definitely use that as well. But I found using multi-purpose liquid glue works just as well. And what I like to do is place that right onto my card and then take one of our clear blocks and just kind of, it's almost like you're ironing it on. It helps it kind of stick to your paper. And then I like to put a couple on there and it'll just hold it down in the meantime while I work on other parts. Our die cut piece that I've already pre-die cut and stamped, this is with Night of Navy ink as well. And again, you can just use your liquid glue here, very minimal amount, and that'll go right on there. We'll bring back in our stamped piece and adhere that to that last layer on the end. Again, the clearance around the gray granite is very, very slim. So that's another plus for the multi-purpose liquid glue. You can kind of move your paper around. Okay, our wreath is done. On the back of our sentiment, I'm gonna use Stampin' Dimensionals. This helps give our project a little height. And I'm gonna place that off to the kind of the right hand side. And then to finalize it, I have somewhere around here, there, my iridescent jewels, the pearls. These are the items that are our prize patrol for the week. And you can just use your take your pick tool and add two of, they come in two sizes, small and large. And then that's it. And that is our first fancy fold project. So it just folds right up here, and then you can write a little sentiment here. If you need more room, you can always add a little block here, but this is perfect and it tucks right into a regular size envelope so that you can just give that away to somebody. Very perfect. Like I said, a feminine or masculine project here. Just because it has a wreath on the front and a little floral design does not mean you cannot give this to a guy. a hello there and you're on my mind, this would brighten anybody's day to give this card to. So that's our first project featuring a fun, fancy fold technique. So I hope you guys like that one. Okay, let's get some of this cleaned up here. So here is our second project. Now we are going to be using Starry Sky. This is one of our newest in colors. So here is what that looks like. This is kind of the take on this card. Again, they use that same masculine, so this can be done with masculine or feminine papers. The best thing about this project though is, here's the part that I like. So disregard that this is a Michaels gift card. Think of it as like an Ace or AutoZone. So you can take the gift card, tuck it right in there, and this fits right into a regular size envelope as well. And you kind of have like an all-in-one project. They open it up, there's their gift card, and then it even fits right in there. So perfect size for a gift card holder if you were looking for a project. I know Father's Day was yesterday, but maybe if you missed out, you can create this one and gift like an AutoZone or something fun, and this would be a great project for a gift card holder as well. Okay, let's swap out here. Thank you guys. I'm glad to see that you're liking that first project. It's really fun and beautiful to be able to create that one for you guys. All right, this one we are going to be doing the stamping and embossing to go along with this, some die cutting, so lots of fun on this one. All right, get my paper ready so I can see all the dimensions here. So we have a piece of basic white cardstock, 4 1/4 by 11. So this is a sheet of regular 8.5 by 11 cardstock, just cut straight down the middle. I'm going to get my scoreboard out here again. Make sure I'm in frame so you guys can see. There we go. All right, again, score marks and dimensions are on that free project PDF tutorial, so you don't have to write any of these down. All right, we're gonna score at 1.5, 3, 5.5, and 8. Now, unlike our last project, this is not the same on both sides, so you definitely have to make sure that you are folding it in the right direction. Okay, so on our piece of 8.5 by 11, that last score line that we did at 8 is where we're going to start. We're going to fold onto itself first, bring in our bone folder, definitely a must-have tool for any kind of 3D project. We're going to fold back, just kind of like our last one. We're going to create this little like accordion fold here, and we're just folding back and forth. Now my Stampin' Blondie team, we did something called mystery stamping at our team meeting last week, and what I did is I gave them the directions to create this project, but they didn't get to see what it looked like. So it was really fun to see everybody's project once we were done at the end, and everybody's little 3D fancy fold project all looked different, which was great. Okay, so this one we have a piece of gray granite cardstock. Now it's a little bit different. It is just a single piece of cardstock, so there's not actually a folded card. If you wanted to, you could have, you know, your traditional folded card in the back. You would just not cut your cardstock in half. But I think if you gift this to somebody, there's plenty of space here on the back to be able to write a sentiment. So I don't think you need a full card for this project. All right, before we adhere our piece of Starry Sky cardstock to our gray granite, we are going to bring back our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and we are going to emboss using our Fern embossing folder again. As that reminder, there's that black line right at the bottom so that you can line your paper up to make sure that it is going to be a straight cut there, or emboss. And we're going to use plate number 1 and plate number 4. The plate number 1 has all the details and pictures on what plates to use with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And then it folds up and you can just move it off your desk. All right, bring in our folder here. this piece we're going to adhere to that gray granite base. And again, I'm gonna use that liquid glue just because it can get into the creases of our embossed paper. So that'll go right in the middle here. All right, now before we adhere our piece of basic white cardstock down to our card, we have 3 pieces of designer series paper. Now I chose 3 different pieces. For your project, you can make them all the same designer series paper, but when you do 3 different ones, you see each individual piece here, and then when you unfold it, you see the larger pieces. So I definitely wanted to choose 3 different pieces, and before I adhere that to my card base, we're gonna adhere all of our designer series paper. So we're gonna start in the back and work our way to the front. So we'll start with our smaller piece of larger piece of designer series paper here. Just like the last project, liquid glue here, just in case it's not exactly where you want it. Now, if you're not too confident where the pieces are gonna go, you can just kind of fold it and see exactly where those pieces will go. And I chose the gray granite piece for the middle just to kind of break the blue up a little bit. And again, it's not exactly where I want it, so I have a few seconds to move my paper around. And then that last piece, the smallest piece, goes right on the front of our panel here. And then you can just kind of use your fingers to kind of push it on there and just make sure everything's adhered really, really well. Now on the inside, there is this panel here, which is gray granite, and we're gonna stamp that with Starry Sky ink. And the sentiment says, "A heartfelt thank you." Again, this is great because the stamp set has both sentiments and images, so you can mix and match them together. My dog Leia is over here crying, so if you hear that in the background, she's just wanting to say hi to everybody. Normally she's the one sleeping the whole time through these videos, so I'm surprised she's awake right now. All right, and now we're gonna adhere that panel right here to the inside of our card, and then that will be the end of all of adding those pieces. Now I wanted to add them before I glue it down to the card base because when I was making this card, I glued down the panel first and then added the little pieces, and it just got in the way. So it was easier to kind of do this little booklet fold first and now glue everything down to the card base here. And this is just gonna go right in the middle of that embossed piece. Again, even though this basic white piece is not embossed, I'm still using the multi-purpose liquid glue because I'm adhering it to an embossed piece. So again, I want to get in those kind of crevices of the embossed piece here with that liquid glue. So right in the middle there. Hi Kelly, thanks for watching. Wisconsin. I am originally from Iowa, so not too far from Wisconsin. Hopefully you guys are getting some good weather up there. It looks like it's actually gonna rain here in Tucson for the first time in like literally since 2021. We have not really had any rain here, and it looks like this week our monsoon season is finally gonna kick off. Okay, so we've got our little booklet all put together here, and now we're gonna add our Starry Sky. Now this is stitched or cut from the Stylish Shapes dies. These are new to our annual catalog. These are my #1 go-to die set in the annual catalog because it comes with all these different shapes, but also it is perfect for using on sentiments, images, a different variety of things. So I love all the different sizes. You get basic circles, squares, and then these fun little banners here. But the Stylish Shapes dies, my #1 favorite die set from our annual catalog. It goes with so many different things, that's why. Okay, I'm putting glue on half of that, and I'm just gonna add that right to the front. You don't wanna add glue to the whole thing or you'll glue the card shut and don't wanna waste all that time that you spent just making your fun folds. So we're gonna put that off to the side and we're gonna stamp. I have a spare piece of basic white cardstock and our stamp. Here we go. We're gonna use that very fun, big looking fern, and we're gonna stamp that with Starry Sky as well, just like our sentiment. Now you can see I'm using this upside down. My Starry Sky ink pad, because it's brand new, it is very juicy, and this is a larger stamp, so I wanna make sure that my entire surface area is covered with ink, and if I push too much with it being super juicy, you can see I get that halo. So I'm just gonna be very careful when I stamp to try to not get that halo onto my card here. There we go. And we'll put that off to the side. Now we're gonna die cut these, and I need my dies to go with that. If I can find them. I had them because I showed you guys. There they are, underneath my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay, now this is, I wouldn't say this is an intricate die, but because you want to make sure you're die cutting exactly where you're placing your die, you want to use little pieces of washi tape. Washi tape is paper tape. It will hold your die in place as you run it through the machine, so you won't have any kind of like shift or shimmy of your die as you move it through, and it'll cut exactly where you are using. So we're gonna open that up. We're gonna use platform 1 and our die cut platforms here, and we're gonna run this through. Go. And fold it back up. That's one of the things that I like the most about the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I store it on my table here right behind me, and there isn't a lot of room to store a bunch of different machines. So with having the sides of it fold up, it's very easy to be able to store. And if you want to travel with it, it takes up less room as well. Okay, and with washi tape, you just want to make sure you lift gently, because even though it's paper tape, it can still rip your paper. So you just want to be extra careful when you pull that off. And there we have our die cut piece. This is using, like I said, Starry Sky. And on the back of this, we're going to use Stampin' Dimensionals. So this die is perfect because it has the best room for dimensionals, so you can use them on your projects. Come on, get off of there. It's like the dimensional backing was stuck to the paper again, and that's gonna go right in the middle. Now, as a final touch, we're gonna come back in with our iridescent pearls. These are our Prize Patrol item for the week, like I mentioned, and we're gonna use 3 of the large size. And we're gonna add one there, one here, and one right there at the bottom. And then if you wanted to gift this to somebody, like I said, you can just tuck in a little gift card, and then it fits right into a normal size envelope. Again, if you want to ship this one to somebody, I definitely would add 2 stamps to it just because of its bulkiness if it runs through the machine. But you can add that gift card and it fits perfectly in there, and then you have room to write on the back, or if you wanted to write a little something here. So that is our second project featuring the Fun Folds technique and the Sun Prints suite from our annual catalog. I hope you guys like this one, just like the last project that we worked on here today. All right, I'll bring them both in so you guys can see what we worked on here today. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. I have to say the second one is probably my favorite. I like the different uses of designer series paper, how it's multi-purpose, that you can tuck in that gift card, and just it's so beautiful and simple to be able to create this project, and it has a really great impact with the fern texture and some little, just a simple stamp on the front. So let me know which one you guys like the most in the comments. It's always fun to see what everybody likes each week. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining me for another week of Technique Tuesday. Now, next week I'll be right back on schedule with another week of Makers Monday. So make sure to join me at 5 p.m. Pacific time for Makers Monday right here on this page. Now, if you're interested in signing up for Stampin' Bingo, as a reminder, the virtual Stampin' Bingo deadline to register is coming up this weekend. If you'd like a copy of the holiday catalog, I'll have a link in the description here in just a few minutes, as well as all of the links to all the upcoming events that I have. I hope you guys have an amazing week.